One Piece Season 2 probably has one of the saddest storylines in One Piece ever. One Piece so far, that's for sure. That's the Laboon storyline. The storyline about the whale. And we also get a little more involved on how dangerous the Grandline is in this season. It's only 16 episodes, by the way. 16 episodes for a season for One Piece. But you're like, what? That's a thing? Yes, they broke it down so that way you're not watching season 2, 3, and 4 all together. It's actually season 2, which is 16, season 3, which I think is 15, season 4, that's the 38 episodes. But anyway, anywho, today's episode about One Piece on Movie Breakdown Series Review is about season 2, and let's go ahead and get into it on this episode of Movie Breakdowns. What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Movie Breakdowns. I'm your host, Ali Zakka. What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Movie Breakdowns. I'm your host, Ali Zakka. And what is Movie Breakdown Series Review? It's a movie review series where we look at TV shows, anime, movie series, give them a grade A through F, plus and minus do count, review each individual season, and then we give a compilation grade as well over all of it. So, for example, Ronnie Kenshin's one of the seasons I did, a series I did, Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Legend of Korra, the Harry Potter movies. I review each individual season. This is England, each individual season, and then give it a compilation grade as well. So let's go ahead and get into today's episode of One Piece. I'm kind of excited to get into it. That's why I keep skipping stuff. Before I do that, though, before I get into that, I do want to let you guys know I have a Patreon. Patreon/Ali Zakka. For $2 a month, you can pretty much review anything. I get to it immediately because you pay for my services. And y'all get more stuff like trade reaction, trade reviews on my Patreon. Also, if you don't want to pay for Patreon and you want to wait, put in a comment section on YouTube here, I get to it as best I can, or Facebook, I get to it as best I can. Now, let's go ahead and get into today's episode of season 2 of One Piece. Yes, this is only, like I said, 16 episodes, first thoughts, 16 episodes, and the comedy in season 2 really stands out to me a lot more than the comedy in season 1. I don't know why. Maybe because it's a little more wacky of a season. Like, you have the crew go inside a giant whale. It's a giant whale, one of the largest animals in the Grand Line. They go inside this whale, meet a dude named Crocus who does this bit where, like, anytime they ask him a question, he would stare at them intently, and they do like different cuts of like the boat, the ship, different angles of Crocus' place, different angles of the crew, and then Crocus would be like, I would die. Like, if you want to fight me, that's fine. They do like do. He's like, I would die. And then he'd be like, oh, let me explain, like, who are you? He's like, there's room for you to ask who you are, and then go do the do. And the point where he even says it, they're like, will you stop doing that? He's like, have you guys heard of a gag? Like, I like how self-aware the show is as well. It's some good writing. Like I said, One Piece has some strong writing, and this is no different. This is a spoiler review, guys, so you haven't seen One Piece yet, season 2, go watch it, come back. It's only 16 episodes, but this is a spoiler review. It really has 3 main parts, and I would almost consider, 3 main parts. You have the Laboon storyline with Crocus, but again, the Grand Line. They go over Reverse Mountain, they go into the Grand Line, and they come across this giant whale who's been in pain because his friends passed away, I believe 50 to 70 years before Luffy and them gets there. They pass away, pretty much go missing, and they're considered dead. And Laboon is trying to get to them. They're on the opposite side of the Grand Line. So once you go into the Grand Line, you have to go all the way around it to get to the end of it. But you can't go from the beginning of the Grand Line and just hop over Reverse Mountain and go to the end, because the way it sets up, Reverse Mountain all leads into one canal that leads into the beginning of the Grand Line. You can't just go up and over the Reverse Mountain to go into the Grand Line to get into the Grand Line because it's too high up there, so you can't really get over the red line to go up and go over it, and so therefore you have to go through navigate the Grand Line to do it. But you also learn here about the last island at the end of the Grand Line, which is called Raftail, which is where One Piece is supposed to be at. So you learn about that. And this little arc here, and also how the Grand Line works, that is not based off of north, south, east, west, but you have to navigate based off of the magnetic fields of each island, because each island has their own magnetic compass or magnetic post. So in order to navigate, you have to get adjusted to the island's magnetic post, which will take you to another island, will take you to another island. And there are 7 different starting points in the Grand Line. Once you get down Reverse Mountain, and which island you go, your post will take you on that path. So it's a pretty cool thing here. It's kind of neat. You get a lot of exposition from Crocus, and Nami really flexes her navigation muscles. So this is when Nami really shows how of a viable character and viable part of the Shawhead crew she is, because without her to navigate the crew to get to certain places, you can't get there. And really it's shown a lot in this season on her, like, hey, the sky is changing, it's snowing, hey, there's a storm coming, hey, we have to maneuver our way through this, we can't just sit here or we're not going to make it. Nami does a great job of understanding what the dangers are of the Grand Line. You know, she never been there before too. Some good stuff here, good writing for the Shawhead crew in the introduction. Then you meet Mr. Nine and Miss Wednesday, who are characters a part of this organization of bounty hunters called Baroque Works. And they get entangled into the crew, and the crew pretty much takes them back home, which goes to Whiskey Peak, which is like a whole island full of bounty hunters. And guess what the Shawheads are? They're pirates. But how they introduce people, they give them a party, throw them a party, like we love partying with pirates, and they pretty much kill them afterwards. However, Zoro is the only one who doesn't really fall for the trap. He said he slept most of the crew anyway, so most of the voyage to Whiskey Peak, so he's wide awake. He takes out the whole Baroque Works, which leads into one of, people will say, one of the nonsensical parts of One Piece, and what, like, as storyline goes, Luffy, who has stood up for so many people, so many friends in the first season of One Piece, is literally is fighting to kill Zoro in this season, because Zoro beat down all the Baroque Works operatives, and Luffy didn't know who they were. He just thought they were people who gave him food and drinks and marry and just having a good time. And when he said that Zoro did that after talking to one of the guys, he's like legit trying to beat Zoro down, like not just like knock him out, but legit kill. And Zoro and Luffy are going to a fight. And my thought process with that was, I remember watching it as a kid. This actually, Whiskey Peak was actually shown in the 4Kids version. Laboon wasn't, but the Whiskey Peak part was shown in the 4Kids version. And I remember watching, like, that's cool, Rubberman versus Swordsman, that's awesome. And then watching back as an adult, I was like, I think that was just pure fan service at this point. I don't think that was an actual, like, part of the storyline, because Luffy wouldn't fight Zoro. He would sit there trying to figure out why did he do it, but he was so angry seeing Zoro attack all these people that he legit tried to fight Zoro to death until Nami knocks him out and, like, get over yourself, guys, like, this is what's going on. And Luffy's like, oh, the misunderstanding, and Zoro's like, I've been trying to tell you. But I just think it was a cool little scene there that has fan service in it. That's a fan service, like Zoro versus Luffy, first mate versus captain. Like, I think a little fan service, which at the end of the day, that fight happens and you don't remember it all. Matter of fact, they don't talk about it ever again. It's just like one moment and done. But when Luffy and Zoro was fighting each other, they also fought Mr. Five and Miss Valentine's Day. And they pretty much dispose of them. Like, they just knock them out, get them out the way to fight each other. But you really get introduced into the Baroque's work, which is an organization of bounty hunters, like I mentioned earlier, which they had different levels, based off your numbers. And the higher, no, I guess the lower your number is, if you're going from 100 to 1, the lower your number is, the stronger you are. but there's a huge gap pretty much between number 9 and number 5 that is apparent in this season. Like number 5 and number 9, number 9 can't touch number 5 pretty much. That's how huge different the gap is. But Zoro and Luffy dispatches the number 5 like no big deal, like he's not even an issue. But you learn that Miss Wednesday is actually a princess named Miss Vivi, and Vivi is trying to bring down Baroque Works from the inside out because Mr. Zero, who is actually one of the 7 warlords of the sea, is currently taking over her country, her home, her kingdom of Alabasta. And Mr. 8, who's Ingram, he pretty much he asks the Straw Hat crew to take Vivi back home, which Vivi now joins the crew, and they're trying to get to Alabasta. So that is now the newest mission for the Straw Hat crew. And I do like that. I do like how in One Piece, like the main objective to get to One Piece is find One Piece, but as they're going along these missions, going on this journey, they get entangled into different situations that kind of breaks off the crew, and instead of going straight to the Grand Line, straight to the One Piece, they're actually getting brought onto different missions and different situations now where they're not just searching for One Piece, they have to do other things for to get to One Piece. So the story becomes more about the adventure versus the goal. And at this point, you can see that wholeheartedly. And I do like how the characters are getting adopted, are getting used to Vivi, and Vivi's also getting used to the Straw Hat crew, because at this point she's like, yeah, these guys are tough, but they can't handle Baroque Works. But then she see them do certain stuff and she's like, huh, maybe they can. Maybe they can handle themselves, and I shouldn't be really worried and afraid. And really, it doesn't really hit until you get to Little Garden I should say, where Vivi actually sees like how a kind-hearted person Luffy is. So in Little Garden, which is not little at all, it's actually a prehistoric island that has dinosaurs, and not just dinosaurs, but 2 giants. Like there are legit giants. Groggy and Broggy. Let me see what their actual names are. I'm sorry, guys. Broggy and Dory. That's their name. Broggy and Dory, and they used to be part of the giant warrior pirates, who these legit giants are fighting each other, get into a fight. They don't know what they're fighting about, but they've been fighting over 100 years. And Luffy and Usopp kind of meet the 2 giants, and they were like just amazed by this battle that's going on. And every time this volcano erupts, they fight each other to like a draw, and then they go back to their place. Well, Baroque Works is also there, and one guy by the name of Mr. 3 sabotages this duel, and Broggy believes he killed Dory. And from there, they're like, oh wow, but Luffy doesn't like, is trying to stop Dory from doing his fight, because Mr. 3 actually sabotages the duel. He put explosive in Dory's drink, and Dory pretty much is bleeding from the inside out. And when he fights Broggy, he end up dying from what we think. And that's when Mr. 3 and Baroque Works make their move. They also kidnap Vivi, Nami, and Zoro. But while that's going on, before that happens though, Vivi and Luffy have like kind of a talk, and Vivi can actually see what's like how Luffy of a person, how a caring person Luffy is, because he doesn't want to see Dory have this battle. Dory's already injured. It won't be an honorable fight. It won't be 100%. The duel is being tainted, and Dory's like, no man, you have to stand up. You gotta keep going no matter what happens. And Luffy's like, this is not a 100% fight. You guys are not 100%. This is not a fair fight. And Dory knows that going in, that he might not come out alive. And Luffy is just like so outraged by it, and Vivi doesn't understand like why is Luffy this way, and she can see it over time that, oh, he's actually a caring person. You know, he never met Dory from the beginning of this all. Just this one appearance here, this one meeting between the 2 of them is enough for Luffy to be like, I'm gonna go to bat for this guy. And Vivi's like, wow, okay. And he has some cool fight scenes between Mr. 3 and Luffy and Mr. 5 and Usopp and little interesting way to save the guy, save the crew with Mr. 3, who's the wax fruit guy or candle fruit guy, and he can pretty much make anything out of his wax, and he kind of makes this, I believe he call it candle cake or something, or wax cake or wax castle. I can't think of the actual name of it, but he is pretty much turning Nami, Vivi, Zoro, and Broggy into wax figures, and Luffy gotta save them before time runs out. So the race against time kind of little situation there at the end, and Luffy does manage to rescue everybody. Luffy and Usopp manage to rescue everybody, but I like how unique it is compared to other stories in One Piece where it's just been, you go walk up to this dude, fight this guy, that's it. No, it's like, you have to fight this dude, but you also have to rescue your friend before they get turned to wax characters, and watch out for Miss April Fool's Day, or Miss Golden Week, sorry, who can make you a different emotion based off of the paint that she throws on you. I thought that was kind of neat. I thought that was a very interesting concept here in this season. But for the most part, like, season 2 is fun. It's a fun season. It's good. There's moments where you're like, oh my gosh, and there's moments where you're like, okay, that's neat. That's fine. Like, it's solid. It's solid. Not every episode is gonna be on the edge of your seats, but there's episodes where you'll be like, you're definitely intrigued and curious how it's gonna work out, how it's gonna play out. I enjoyed season 2. The 16 episodes for season 2 was fun. It's a good watch. My favorite parts probably season 2 is probably the beginning with Laboon's storyline, and then you have the little garden arc there, the little mini arc, little garden arc, which also is very fun little arc there. It's probably what, 5 episodes maybe. It's not that big of episodes, only 16 episodes, but it's solid. So you got Luffy. Luffy is still Luffy from episode 1. He's still strong-hearted, still confident, believing his friends, believing in his mission to go, and confident about everything he's gonna do. He said, I'm gonna go find One Piece. He says it with a smile and said it with confidence. People believe in him. He's pretty much solid Luffy. Like, at this point, his development, he hasn't really changed much from anything. He's still going to relate to his fist to even convey like emotions. For example, he fights Laboon. Like, One Piece is the only show where I can think of where the main character fights a whale and a giant in the same season, and it's like not out of the ordinary. Granted, he's a rubber man, so but it's not out of the ordinary. And I just like how, like, when Luffy fights Laboon, he proves to Laboon that, like, hey, I'm not weak, so stop bamming your head against Reverse Mountain, try to get to the other side of the Grand Line. Like, I'm gonna go to the end of the Grand Line, and I'm gonna come back, and we're gonna have a fight again. And I like how Laboon is like, you're right, you have withstanding my fights. You took a whale head on, and you're still standing. And Luffy kind of makes Laboon like a mascot of the Straw Hat crew. Like, you're like, hey, at this point now, you're kind of you're my friend. Here's a marking of our friendship. Don't run your head anymore. Stop it. I love that. I love how Laboon was like, okay, I won't do this anymore. I'll stop and wait till you return, because Luffy proved that he's strong enough to fight Laboon at Laboon's adult age. Love it. Love it. Like, Luffy is definitely a kind-hearted character who wants to see the best for everybody, wants to see everybody have a good time, and don't want to see his friends struggle. Even if he just met you and you're a good person, he doesn't want to see you struggle. I love Luffy as a character. Then you have Nami. I like this season how Nami really shows how much of an importance she is to the crew. She's a navigator. She navigates through the Grand Line, kind of get different things set up. She's learning about the Grand Line as she's doing it, but at the same time, she's keeping everybody safe. Like, a great character. And then you see her little con artist, cat burglar stuff come out. Like, for example, when Igaram was like, we'll pay you money, just, can you please take Vivi home? And Nami's like, money, I'm all about it. you know what, everybody do this, we're gonna get this cash, we'll get this moolah, and then kind of find out if Vivi's actually broke. She doesn't have that much money, and Nami's like, okay, well, we'll do this anyway. And Luffy made his mind up, like, all right, we'll get you home. So once Luffy make his mind up, the crew's pretty much following. But Nami is solid this season. Like, you actually see how important she is to the crew. Then you have Zoro. Zoro, still confident, still collective, still cool character, who wants to win who wants to win no matter what, who doesn't want to lose either. He's cool. He's cool. He kind of keeps everybody a little level-headed at certain times, but then he also can get a little unhinged himself. But for the most part, Zoro is a solid character. He kind of be more reason in this season. Like, for example, Sanji was getting mad at Crocus when Crocus kept like playing around, and Zoro's like, no, let me take care of this. But at the same time, him and Sanji have beef and tiffs with each other throughout the season, but they're fine. They're fine. Zoro's a cool character. Matter of fact, he shines a lot in this season, except for the Little Garden arc where he gets captured and it's really up to Luffy and Usopp to shine. And I do like how One Piece give their characters room to shine. It's not just like all about Luffy. You have Nami who has moments, Zoro has moments, Sanji has moments, Usopp has moments. Like, everybody has a room to shine. Like I said in the first review, it's pretty much like they're all the main characters, not just one person. You have Usopp. Usopp, who is the fraidy cat of the group, but he uses his kind of, I can't think of the word to think, like his special crafting, his unique crafts and his unique marksmanship and his wonderful ideals to make like Tabasco star or a hot pepper star, which is pretty much like a bullet wrapped in Tabasco sauce or like that, or packets. Like, he come up with unique ways to attack people and fight people. And for the most part, he is the fraidy cat. He's comic relief the first part of the season, doesn't really do much, doesn't really fight really much. He's kind of like out the way, telling stories, telling lies. And then you have him fighting Mr. Five and Miss Valentine's Day. His bravery stands up because he's inspired by Broggy and Dory, and he wants to be a great warrior of the sea, and he wants to go to Elbaf, which is the homeland of the giants. Like, he is inspired by them, so he stands up and fight because their duel was tarnished thanks to Mr. 3, and he's like, and Mr. 5 is like, I'm not having this. I'm going to stand up. And you get to see Usopp really come into his own a lot of times, where you see the sparks of him being this great warrior, and then right afterwards he goes back to being a coward again. Usopp's a fun character. I enjoy Usopp. Sanji. He's fine. I'm really not liking the Funimation version of Sanji. I don't know what it is, but the whole Loverboy stick with him and Nami and Vivi, and it really is like annoying to me. I don't know why. It was one of my favorite characters, and now he's dropping off. Rewatching this back, he's fine. He's cool. He's, at this point in this season, he's kind of been more in the background. Like, he's still there, but he's more in the background to the point where, like, Baroque Works don't know who he is. Baroque Works have Zoro, Luffy, Nami, Usopp down. They got their faces, Vivi as well, but they don't have Sanji's face because Sanji, pretty much for the most part, hasn't really been around the crew when they're doing stuff. Like, he was around the crew in the first part, but I don't think he actually fought Mr. 9 and Miss Wednesday. If he did, I kind of missed it. But for the most part, he's the ship's chef, and he's cooking for the crew and making sure everybody got food. He adds a little more comic relief as well. And then at the end of season 2, he talks to Mr. Zero, and for the most part, Mr. Zero doesn't know who Sanji is. So Sanji's the one character who kind of been in the background, which is for a reason though, but he's been in the background this season, hasn't really been in the forefront, which I actually like that too. It gives other characters time to shine. But Sanji, for the most part of the season, he's still a cool dude from season 1 who's the lover boy and just like, at certain times. And then we're going to introduce Vivi. Vivi is a princess from Alabasta. She's also part of Baroque Works for a moment to infiltrate them, figure out who the #1 person is, kind of find out it's Crocodile, who's one of the 7 warlords of the sea. So this is the second one that we come across as far as 7 warlords, but we don't know what he looks like at this point. And Vivi's trying to take down Baroque Works from the inside, and she teams up with the Straw Hat crew who can help her get her home. At this point, what we know from Vivi is that like she is just somebody who cares about her family, cares about her home, and wants to find a way to get home as much as possible and as fast as possible to save it. And that's pretty much it. Like she's actually, what we get from Vivi in this part here and this season, the introduction to her, the new storyline for the Straw Hats to go down, and we also get her interaction with the Straw Hat crew. She knows that, you know, Zoro is strong. She knows that she calls Mr. Bushido. She knows that he is a strong character. She trusts Nami. She has a better connection with Nami than anybody, but she's really just getting adapted to the Straw Hat crew. And she's like, why are everybody so laid back here? Why are everybody so carefree? Shouldn't we be scared that the Baroque Works is coming after us? And Nami's like, hey, they're good. Rest assured, if anybody you can trust, it's this group. And then you have Karu, who's her pet duck. He's a cool character, kind of like a little mascot for the moment. Other characters introduced in this season, you have Mr. Five, who's one of the Baroque Works characters. He uses, I believe it's called explosive fruit, but like he can make his breath, make his boogers into explosive bombs, and he was an interesting villain. I kind of wish we got more of him. Miss Valentine Day, who used kilo fruit, who can change her body weight from light as a feather to as strong as a ton. She was an interesting character. Mr. 3, who used the wax fruit, is a candle user. And we do get more devil fruit users in season 2. You see a lot more of them Baroque Works characters have more devil fruit powers, and you get to see what their abilities are and how unique each devil fruit power is. But Mr. 3 is more like a sophisticated man who likes to drink his tea and also likes to be more of a artsman and look and admire the art of things. And he doesn't like when people try to go super fast and move through stuff versus sitting back and admiring things. He was an interesting character, and he tried to be more cunning and more thought-provoking to beat you versus just brute strength, which Luffy is like, nah bro, I'm just gonna knock you out. And Luffy beat him at the end of the season 2, and they're like, he's like, how did you beat me? And Luffy just goes, instinct. I'm like, huh. And to me, I'm like, instinct? Or did he use something else that we haven't talked about yet? But anyway, put a pin to that part. That might come back around in the future. I'll think about it when it come back around. And then you have Dory and Broggy, who are the giants. They're pretty much cool characters. 2 giants that you get to meet and for the first time see actual giants in One Piece. And you're like, man, this world is huge. And you want to learn more about it. You talk a lot about Elbaf, which is the homeland of the giants. And you really want to learn more about that down the line. But we don't get to see all of it yet. It's cool. Just 2 cool dudes who fighting each other for over 100 years, who also pirates themselves. I'm really curious to see what more comes out of that storyline. Laboon and Crocus. Laboon, who is a giant whale sent at the beginning of the Grandline, who's trying to get his friends back until Luffy tells him to stop and like, hey, I'm your friend now, so I'll come back around. We'll see each other again. His storyline is so sad and tragic that he keeps hurting himself because he wants to see his friends so bad. He wants to rescue them, but you know, the truth is that they're probably dead at this point. And it's just a sad storyline that Crockett's trying to keep him alive from the inside. And when you meet him, Miss Wednesday and Mr. Nine are trying to kill Laboon to get food back to the village. And what happens from there is that like actually they're bounty hunters, so they're just trying to get money off of it. They're going to probably use it and sell it and make money off of it, but they're going to try to feed their village and kind of have a village full of bounty hunters. But Laboon's storyline, when you meet him and Nine and Wednesday are there and the Straw Hat crew dispose of them to save Laboon and keep Laboon from killing himself, it's a very tragic storyline, and just it really hits that all he wants to do is see his friends again. And he wants to do whatever he can to get them to come back. It's very tragic, and if Luffy didn't come across him, I'm wondering what would have happened. So I like Laboon's storyline. I love just the little details of it, and put a pin in that one too, guys, because that one's a very tragic storyline of One Piece. Any other characters you meet All Sunday, Miss All Sunday. From what we don't know yet, like she does have a human, or at the time of this, we do know that she does have a devil fruit power. I don't know. I know we see the hands at one point, but I don't remember they actually show you what the hands do yet. But when she's on the Straw Hat crew, she's pretty much like knocking stuff out of the Straw Hat's hands, but we don't know how she's doing it. And she's a devil fruit user, and she's the #1 agent next to Mr. Zero, which is Crocodile. So every Baroque character has a number, and they have a character who has a holiday or a day of the week that's next to that number. So Mr. Zero has Miss All Sunday, Mr. 3 has Miss Golden Week, Mr. 9 has Miss Wednesday, Mr. 8 has Miss Monday, Mr. 5 has Miss Valentine's Day, and their characters and opposing numbers. So usually it's a guy and girl, and that's how Baroquers work. They're a group of bounty hunters, but we don't know much more about them yet. We just know they're after the Straw Hat crew because they know who Mr. Zero is. One, because they learned his name is Crocodile. Miss Vivi gave it away. When Vivi gave it away, the Unluckies, who are like an otter and a vulture, they report everything back to Mr. Zero. It's like, yep, you're on the hit mark list now, and Baroque Works is after you. And another thing, because of the magnetic field for each island, the crew needed a internal compass to get to Alabasta. It'll be easier to take them straight to it versus waiting for each island to reset. They don't get the internal compass until the end of season 2, where one of the Unluckies drop it when Sanji beat them. They drop the internal compass, or compass to go with that. So therefore, they can get to Alabasta. So really, the end of season 2, we're about to go towards Alabasta. At first we were just kind of going on our own little journey to try to get to Alabasta, but when it got to Little Garden, since it's 100 years in the past, it took 100 years for the log posts to reset on their island so they can move forward. But luckily, thanks to the internal compass, they don't need that anymore. Nice little thing there. And the final scene of season 2, the final scene, you get Dory and Broggy doing this Elbathan spear technique to shoot a laser through a giant goldfish, and this fish is huge. And one thing that makes me smile about this scene, but Usopp made a story to Kaya back in season 1 where he said he met a giant goldfish who poop was the size of islands. Dory and Broggy brings that up. They actually said this giant fish who is so big, his excrements are the size of islands. And at one point we was on the island, gonna find out it was nothing. It was called No Man's Island, No Lakes Island, something like that. It just made me smile because literally season 1, that was a thing that Usopp made up, and it actually does exist. But Broggy and Dory shoot this giant laser through the fish that eats the crew, and they keep moving forward to Alabasta. But the season ends. Like, they shoot the giant hole, the Straw Hat crews escape, and the season just cuts off. That's the end of season 2, and you're like, what in the world? Like, if the series ended right here, you're like, what's going to happen next? They just escaped, and that's it. That's the end of season. But it's a nice little cliffhanger to the end of season 2. I enjoyed it. I really did. I thought it was fun. Any other thoughts for season 2 of One Piece? Not really. Like, the animation is fine. It's 90s, early 2000s animation. So you're going to see things where, like, characters look like they don't have good detailing in them. Distant characters. There's a scene where Luffy literally eyes are like dots and 2 lines, and like a literally elementary school drawing of Luffy. I saw at one point, I was like, that's fair. He's so far away, you don't really need to define details of it. But the animation of One Piece at this point it's fine. It's not like the greatest animation, so it's good. It's tolerable. The comedy in this show, it gets me every time. I think the comedy is like on point. There's a part where Broggy was crying. He thought he killed Dory, and Dory wakes up and Broggy goes, eyes popped out and everything. I know, I just died laughing. Or when characters like have a deadpan face, we're just like, really? Or Nami coming across the unlucky, and she's like, oh, that's really fine detail. Cause they did a sketch of her. Like, that's really fine details. And she's like, now they know who you are. Thanks a lot, guys. Like, those little things, love it. Love it. I think the comedy in season 2 was better than comedy in season 1. I found myself laughing a lot more. Any other thoughts? The music is still the same from season 1. Still good music. Is this a season you should watch? Yeah, this is a season you should watch. It's definitely a setup arc. Like, this season is definitely a setup season to season 3 and season 4. It's setting up everything. It's worth the watch. It really is a good watch. Now, grading time. I'm going to grade One Piece season 2, 16 episodes, a solid B. It's just a B for me. It's a good season. It's a lot of setup, a lot of exposition, but you're getting everything unraveled for what's going to come in the future. I think it's a good setup season. It's solid. It's a solid, fun season. It's a B for me. If you've seen One Piece season 2, what did you think? That's an 85%, guys. A B is 85%. So if you've seen One Piece season 2, what did you think? Please put in the comment section below. Other than that, see you guys next episode, and keep being awesome. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I really appreciate that. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. If there's a review you want me to watch or do, let me know. Please put it in the comment section below this video. Also, you want to watch the last episode movie breakdowns, it's right there. Just gotta click on it and you'll be able to watch it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Love y'all, and keep being awesome.